Okay, for anyone who's joining us right here, right now on Twitch or later on YouTube, this is a Blood League match between two Division C teams, Crossfire, CXF, and Aces Wild, AW. And this is the first match actually for CXF. This is the second week, but they had a bye during the first week. And Aces Wild, in their previous week, I'm going to come up with a score here just 1 second. Aces Wild had a 3-2 win over their opponent the previous week, so they picked up 3 points there, and Crossfire is coming in with their first match so far. And we have lock on the first team. Just to quickly run through the rules, it's a 7v7 league playing the Conquest game mode. All 5 caps are active. It is a weight class based drop decks for the first 4 drops, and then it goes to a tonnage and weight class combination for the 5th drop. But the first drop, we are going to see 2 light mechs, 2 medium mechs, 2 heavies, and 1 assault mech. And teams are ready, so we're going to kick off here. And we have a hold that has been called for. So something's gone wrong, likely a disconnect. There are issues that occur from time to time. And my name is Therax. I'm doing the cast tonight, and I'm coming back with another 2 casts tomorrow. Well, tomorrow for me. I would say it's going to be in, let's quick math here, 18 hours, I believe. I'm coming back with another cast on this channel. I'm going to be covering 2 more matches starting in approximately 17, 18 hours, and then around 20 hours from now. Just waiting for the teams to sort out their technical issues. Hopefully players come back, and either we get a reconnect here shortly, or we're going to end up having to do a redrop. Okay, so the drop is starting, but neither team has indicated that the hold is not in place anymore. I'm expecting there's still 1 disconnected players. So the timer's running. The teams have a few minutes to connect here. And if they are unable to reconnect the disconnected player, then we do end up having to go to redrop. Both of these teams are veteran competitors in various MechWarrior Online leagues. Aces Wild ran the Inner Sphere Coalition, which was the previous tournament. Not Bob, the team lead, is also the administrator for the Inner Sphere Coalition tournament. And, oh, we do have a call here. Players are going to be playing. So I'm going to pull up the mech list right shortly. Yeah, they said 1400 they're starting. Okay, taking a quick look here at the mechs for Clan Crossfire. We have a Marauder 4L, dual Gauss, dual ERPPC. There is a quirk there that can fire all of that at one time. We have Stumnose Small Laser Crusader out of LOL Barbecue. We have Black Lantern. They are going for the Theta Cap. We might have an early fight here. Small Pulse Ear Micro. They've brought a pair of Black Lanterns. I'm expecting both the same build. Theta was not contested. We have a pair of fire starters here as well. I'm guessing that is a small pulse fire starter. The K variant is not quite the standard. It has a slightly different hardpoint layout and misses the 10% range quirk that the A gets. I'm going to assume that those are identical builds. Checking Ace's Wild builds here quickly. We have Night Gear with AC2, UAC2. Another Night Gear. Yep, 6 UAC2 on that. Direwolf Prime, they are bringing 8 AC2. Firestarter, probably small pulse. Probably won't be checking that build. Look at the build here. It sounds like UAC 10s to me. Yes, it is. Huntsman C with UAC 10s. And then Viper. Okay, Viper is their second medium. That'll be a machine gun variant. And second Firestarter, that'll also be small pulse. Clan Crossfire still has a Marauder far in the back. They're waiting for that to rotate up before committing this engagement. There's a lot of armor being burned off. These lights are going in early. I mean, that Marauder is like a full grid away, maybe even 2 grids away, but they are diving in here with their 4-pack. The Direwolf is not taking significant damage yet. Not Bob is firing constantly. We have a lot of damage going out. Viper's getting an engagement here, 1v3. Not sure it wants that. No, we have one Firestarter down so far on Ace's Wild side. The Viper's about to go down as well. The Viper's still up, 50%. There we go. Viper is down now. Strike on the ramp here on that Direwolf. We do have a leg Firestarter out of Clan Crossfire, goes down. But this fight is looking in the favor of Clan Crossfire. Their Marauder's just showing up in the background, likely has not taken a shot yet. We have a little bit of friendly fire coming in. Another casualty for Ace's Wild. They are down to 3 mechs remaining. And it's all up to the Night Gear and the Huntsman now. And they are facing significant odds against them. Percentages are low on the Black Lanterns. Those might go down here shortly. But the Orion at 40% is getting some free farm on the sides. Steelwater is going unnoticed by Ace's Wild. Huntsman is down. We are left with just one remaining mech. It is the shutdown Night Gear. Probably an overheat from a side torso destruction. Yeah, that is one touch there, and that is a win for Clan Crossfire. A little bit concerning they're engaging without their full team, but they managed to, through their aggression, pull off the advantage. Picked up an early kill on the Firestarter. I missed exactly where that occurred, and I guess just their aggressive mediums and lights managed to do the job. Okay, looking at the damage numbers real quick here. Black Lantern from Captain Cat coming up big with 600 damage dealt with that small pulse ER micro build. The second Black Lantern from Pete Zone just slightly behind in terms of damage dealt. Crusader from LOL Barbecue comes up with the 460 as well. Steelwater with 400 of the LPL Orion. Not a bad damage number at all, but definitely it was carried by Black Lanterns and Crusaders in that brawl. The Marauder 4L actually has 200 damage, which is more than I was expecting, considering I thought it was not in the fight at all until 3/4 of the way down or something. So not bad at all. Might have had shots from an angle that I did not see. Out of Aces Wild, we have Not Bob leading in that direwolf for 550 damage, firing for quite some time with that 8 AC2 build. Just didn't manage to get the lights down fast enough. And we have a Baron Von Bryce build in a Night Gear, where that was an UAC 2 build, 500 damage, quite respectable coming out of the Night Gear there. A little bit lower damage numbers for the rest of the team. The Firestarter from Faux Fire went down a little bit early. I didn't see what happened. Probably got jumped by the Black Lanterners. Pretty respectable damage totals for both teams, but a little bit better focus fire coming out of Clan Crossfire. Or actually, they're not going with a clan anymore. They're just calling themselves Crossfire, right? Okay. Next map, we are going to Mining Collective. Drop format changes up slightly. We've got 2 lights, 2 mediums, 1 heavy, 2 assaults. It is a slightly higher tonnage on this drop. Still playing 5-cap Conquest. Just waiting for the teams to ready up here. Mining Collective, you can see aggressive strats on this map, or you can see range play strats. I think right now, the way that the meta is, I'm expecting more aggression, more brawling. Machine guns, small pulse lasers, micro lasers, they're all very strong in the current meta. Range is also powerful, but the terrain, the way that it's laid out on Mining Collective, I think it favors the brawl a little bit in the current meta situation. In the past, we've definitely seen range strats on Mining Collective, though, so we'll see what the teams pull out here. Crossfire has locked in at 440 tons, just waiting on Aces Wild here. They look like they're about to lock up in a second. We have Alpha Charlie spawns from Clan Crossfire. Aces Wild is looking at Bravo Charlie. The spawns on this map, they are spread apart. They do tell you a little bit in terms of potential aggression, but not that much. I'm not going to read into it too much here. Alright, so Aces Wild has locked in. Now, Aces Wild is using up all 3 spawns. Usually they put, if you stick 1 mech in the 3rd spawn, it's just to grab a cap point. Okay, we're looking at Aces Wild come in here with the red team. We have ERPC Highlander quad ERP that has a quirk. Vigo with ERP, so they're definitely Pop-Tart range trading. There was a Viper that got out of spawn before I could click on it. I'm assuming machine guns. Looks like it's going for Theta. We have a Firestarter splitting off for Epsilon Cap. And the remains of their team is playing over. One is grabbing the Sigma Cap, then they have another of those Highlander 2 CAs with ER Peeps, and a dual Goss, dual ER Large Night Gear. So full dedication to range strat, just with the 2 fire starters, presumably small pulse, and 1 Viper that is presumably heavy machine gun. Now, we're looking at Clan Crossfire. They again brought a pair of Firestarter A's. That is getting nerfed in the patch on Tuesday. I think we know why. Very strong with that 8 small pulse build. Could also be running other things. They have a Veagle with AC-10 ERP, so a little bit more mid-range. Whoa, we have an early destruction here out of an Executioner going down. I didn't even see where that Executioner was or what it build was. Very early casualty. Continue to run through the team build here. We have a second Executioner, the one that is not dead, with ERP, small pulse, ER micro. There we go. That's where that Executioner is. Probably got backshot or something? No, it was a headshot. Wow. Alright. I did not see that coming. Hunchback 2CA with a mid-range build of LPL ER Mead, and then a mid-range Night Gear ERP and triple AC-10. Clan Crossfire is fighting uphill now because they are down a mech. They did return a kill onto the Firestarter. That was a CT from the back. Okay, 77% there, but it's dead, so maybe over-twisted or something. We have a brawl here. That is not where you want your ERPC Highlander. I'm not sure why that moved up. Typically, there's definitely a range advantage for Aces Wild, so I'm not sure why they moved into the mid-ground here, but that Viper is getting some back shots on the Highlander. Clan Crossfire has to keep pushing, but they have taken out the Veagle. The DPS is just not there for Aces Wild if this gets to a mid-range fight, as it looks like it is succeeding. Aces Wild definitely needs to keep a range advantage here, but there we go. Highlander goes down. Both the Highlander and the Vapor Eagle are down on Aces Wild. They do still have 1 remaining Highlander. Oh, Night Gear goes down. Not sure who had an angle there. Could have been maybe a Pop-Tarter. And we have a... Oh, the Viper's going in to clean up this Hunchback 2CA. The Hunchback 2CA is 61% from Steelwater, so they're going to be open somewhere. Yeah, open CT. We have the Viper just pursuing aggressively. The Firestarter's coming in from Compulsive Clag Eater to try and drive it off. And the Viper's at 73%, not the freshest itself. This could be the fight here deciding. Not Bob's got an Executioner behind him. He does not appear to be aware. Now he knows, but his... Oh, almost went down, but managed to survive the shot. And side torso destroyed, so that's not a very hot build though, so it should survive a side torso destruction. Captain Cat themselves are very low. Open CT in their Executioner. They are now in a brawl against the Highlander 2CA. Highlander 2CA quad ERP, very hot build, not something that wants to get in a brawl, but the damage totals were heavily in the Highlander's favor when that started. They managed to pick up the kill. Not Bob, still walking around. Which half of the mech did they lose? They lost the half with just the 1 Gauss rifle, so they still have the 2 ER large single Gauss. And... Oh, they're down. I did not see what happened to Not Bob. Maybe it was an overheat. Or a strike kill. I completely missed it. We have a Viper and a Firestarter. Viper's got a better percentage, and that is the win. I missed almost all of the kills there. I mean, starting off with an early headshot, just was not looking for that. Aces Wild, they're bruised and battered, but they managed to come out ahead. Considering that there was an early headshot against them, Crossfire did very well in that fight. Okay, taking a look at the damage totals real quick here. Yorshka in the Executioner B got headshot right at the start, got 30 damage out before that, so maybe the pair of ER peeps, clan ER peeps, hitting something. Top damage for clan Crossfire, Captain Cat with the other Executioner putting up 500 damage. Now, if Yorshka had managed to not get headshot right at the start and put out 500 damage, this drop goes the other way. Pete Zone with the Night Gear, that was triple AC-10, 1 ER PPC, putting out 497 damage, quite nice. Mirage in that Vehicle, it was dual AC-10, 1 ER PPC, 400 damage, quite nice. Compulsive Flag Eater, 300 damage in the Small Pulse Laser Firestarter, that is very respectable. Lousy 10, again 340 in the same, probably same build on that Firestarter. Steelwater putting out a 279. Now, Aces Wild, they managed to pick up the win. They were getting a carry there from Not Bob in the Night Gear, dual Goss, dual ER Large with a 650 damage dealt. Zool the Burn Raider in the Highlander 2CA coming out with 600 damage as well. Lower damage totals across the rest of the team. Oh, wow, their Firestarter, Kodiak BS, put out a 0 bomb, which they got rear shot, but they died after the headshot from the Executioner. I don't see what happened there, but maybe a bit of an overtwist or something. Just got caught. Respectable damage totals from the rest of Aces Wild. And the thing about a light mech is that you are fragile. If you can sometimes get away with a mistake, but if you're against higher skilled opponents, the amount of mistakes that you can survive, or the odds of surviving making even one mistake just starts to go down. And with that win, Aces Wild does even up the match, which has one drop win for each team at this point. So basically, they're playing a best of 3 going forward. Now, this league isn't about match wins. This league is about drop wins. You get a point per drop win. So that is the determining factor for winning a division. If I remember correctly, I skimmed the rules like a couple weeks ago. I need to go through it again, but I do believe it is 1 point per drop, and that drop wins are... And the points for the drop wins is what determines the winner, with match wins being a second or maybe even third tiebreaker. Drop 3 is going to be played on Forest Colony, a map that does not see a lot of competitive play. There's recently been some changes to it that open up a little bit more movement. I haven't played the map myself enough to really recognize what the changes are. I think I spend more time casting this game than I do playing it as of this point. We have a lock out of Crossfire at 460 tons. Now the drop tonnage is likely moved up again because there's only 2 lights, 1 medium, and the 2 heavies and the 2 assaults this go around. So the tonnage is moving up as we move up the drops, not because of a tonnage limit, but because the chassis that are being restricted start moving down lower. Aces Wild is moving around their lances. Looks like they have their players in the lobby, probably about to ready up here. So 460 tons out of Crossfire. Aces Wild has not locked in yet, but they look like they're going to be bringing 450 tons. Likely a few final instructions here from Aces Wild's team leader to their players. I know that sometimes you adapt your strategies in lobby. Sometimes you come up with your strategies in lobby. Sometimes it's hard to tell how much prep a team put into their drop deck and their strats before the match. Alright, we have a lock, 460 tons from Crossfire against 450 tons from Aces Wild. Okay, both teams coming in. I'm looking at Clan Crossfire in the blue. Wouldn't you know it, more fire starters and more executioners and crusaders. This is very meta at the current moment. ERPPC, triple ERPPC out of that executioner with some backup lasers. Stumbnose PPC, small laser out of the Crusader on the Pete Zone there. I'm going to double check these, make sure that yes. Okay, light PPCs this time on the fire starters. Both of them have 2 light PPC, 6 small lasers, so a bit of a more skirmishy build as opposed to the more dedicated brawler the 8 small pulse would be. We have a rival Vapor Eagle here, 2 ERPPC, 3 heavy machine gun. That has mask. That hero Vapor Eagle has a mask. Jade Kite, that is a set of 8 build. There are quirks on that for the PPC heat and velocity, I believe. So 2 ERPPC, 3 AC5. And then Direwolf bringing the standard 2 GOS, 4 ER large. That is a W, so it does not have the ECM or the center torso JJ that the jump jet that the C variant would have. But then the W has 2 energy hardpoints in the center torso that allows you to put the lasers in maybe a bit of a better mount location. Okay, looking at Aces Wild, they brought a Viper. That's a little bit of that tonnage difference there. That is a triple ER Mead 6 heavy machine gun build. So that's a set of 8. The set of 8 is not that strong on the F Viper, so I'm not really... a little bit of an interesting build. Triple ER PPC on the Executioner. And second Executioner here from Zill the Burnerator is also 3 ER PPCs. Yes, so a lot of range with backup lasers. 6 UAC 2 Night Gear. Again, Aces Wild had brought that previously. They're bringing it again. The second Night Gear is a mid-range UAC 10, UAC 5. Well, we have a fight over the radar tower here. There were a few mechs left. I did not catch the Firestarter builds. It's either small pulse or it's that light PPC small laser build. I'll have to check those later if I get a chance. But both teams are bringing two of those Firestarters each. Control of the radio tower has been gained by Clan Crossfire. Just a quick build analysis. They are bringing the Crusader as a support for their lights, which you only have the one medium. And they elected to go for a range medium with the Veagle, ERPPC Vapor Eagle, so they're bringing a Stumbnose PPC small laser Crusader to back up their lights. Whereas Aces Wild, they brought the Viper with the heavy machine gun build to back up their Firestars. So there's a bit of a tonnage advantage in the light squad, and the rival with the mask is also able to join as a 4th mech in that light pack as it is. I mean, Executioners also do an excellent job joining light packs to some extent. I mean, it's a very mobile assault mech. A little bit of rotation here from Aces Wild. They are pulling... they're making a move. They're making a play. Or prepping a play, but it's very much scouted out, so I'm not sure how this is going to go. They do have the UAC 2s on those Night Gears. The Night Gear not going to deal so well with the Pop-Tart that they are facing as of right now with the... mean, even the Fire Stars are getting in on that Pop-Tart action. The Crusader can Pop-Tart, the Vapor Eagle's Pop-Tarting, the Executioners are Pop-Tarting. Just continual jump harassment here. And those 6 UAC 2s, they don't really get the face time that they need to effectively return damage. The other Night Gear is, of course, the UAC 10, UAC 5 build. So that hits a little bit harder at medium range, but it is outranged by the clan ERPCs. So this is pretty much ideal range for it. But the UAC 2s are not going to be responding very well against this continual harassment with the jump jets. Percentages are favoring clan Crossfire here heavily. Aces Wild, they have made a movement, but they haven't found a push angle. We have 2 lights here engaging against a pair of medium or a medium and a heavy. Low percentages on everyone. The Viper at 44%, but is still mobile. Crusader has an open leg. Pete Zone there at 60%. Mechs are about to start dropping here. The percentages are too low for somebody to not go down right shortly.
They've taken Epsilon.
There we go. First casualty is a Night Gear pushing out ahead. The remaining Night Gear is that mid-range UAC 2, UAC 5. Baron is putting out some damage. But the Aces Wild percentages, 34% on an Executioner, 41% on the other Executioner. Night Gear, 34%. This is looking in favor of Clan Crossfire. Second mech goes down. It's the other Night Gear. Zul the Burnerator finally goes down to 20% there. And Aces Wild have been effectively just herded into a kill box at this point in their low percentage mechs. This will not take very long at all. There are low mechs on Clan Crossfire. It's possible that there might be a kill picked up here for Aces Wild. And that is it. The cap points did run to 450 in the favor of Aces Wild to 400 for Clan Crossfire, but there just was not enough time there for Aces Wild to stay alive and come out with that cap win. Direwolf from Necro Doomguard is almost fresh, considering it looks like heat damage to me. And they might have been able to put out damage, a significant amount of damage here, depending on whether or not they had the angles. Okay, damage numbers real quick here. Captain Cat leading the way with the Vapor Eagle rival, putting out 730 damage with that continual Pop-Tart harassment. Nico Doomguard with the Direwolf did indeed find the angle, 680 damage out of that Gauss Quad ER large mech. The Direwolf was buffed in a recent patch because apparently it wasn't strong enough. So yeah, very, very strong competitive pick at the moment. Yorshka in the Executioner D, this time he was allowed to play the game and put out more than 30 damage, 586. Not getting an early headshot definitely helps out a lot. Steelwater with the Night Gear, 500 damage, quite respectable there. That was a Jade Kite. I don't recall the build. Was it dual Gauss, dual ER large? You know, I can't remember. Lower damage from the rest of the team, but I mean, the fire starters each have a pair 400 plus damage. That is quite respectable for a light mech. Crusader from Pete Zone with just 400 damage as well. Very strong mech as well. but the Snuggles PPCs maybe didn't quite get into range. Aces Wild, lower damage numbers, Not Bob leading the way with Executioner Prime, 420 damage. The rest of the team's in that 150 to 260 damage range, except for Zul the Burnerator in the Executioner, which was also 3 ER PPC, managed to put out 371. Most of the team wasn't really set up to return fire to what they were facing against there with the continual pop-tart harassment. Very impressive out of Crossfire. So definitely, I think that was a. There would need to be adjustments made from Aces Wild in order to make that match come out in their favor. Now the percentages are low on Clan Crossfire. This was not a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. The cap points were close. Just over time, the Pop-Tart damage does add up. So with the win there, Crossfire does pull ahead in the match. It's 2 wins to 1. Aces Wild has the 1 win. Clan Crossfire has 2 wins. There's 2 drops remaining. All 5 drops are played. We're playing for points here out of drop wins, not for. It's not a best of type match. Aces Wild is locked in. We're going to Crimson Straight as our next match, and the drop format is going to be 2 lights, or sorry, 1 light, 2 mediums, 2 heavies, 2 assaults. So this is the heaviest drop of the evening, most likely. We have 465 tons so far out of Aces Wild. 465 doesn't sound that high, so there's some strats that might be executed with a lower drop tonnage, but there's also some very strong, very flexible, lighter tonnage mechs that that might be chosen over their heavier counterparts within the weight class. Alright, CXF has locked in as well. Aces Wild with 465 tons, Crossfire with 495. So there's a 30-ton difference here between the 2 teams. Okay, Aces Wild is playing in the blue trunks this match, or this drop, and we have, they are bringing dropships in the way. We got 2 Vipers, 1 Fire Starter. I'm assuming the Fire Starter is going to be that 9, well, they might do the 1 light PPC, 5 small pulse. So that is a hybrid build that I have never seen before. Both teams calling for a hold here, so we'll stop going through the mechs until All right. So we have a hold. Fortunately, no caps have been taken yet, so it's still possible to do a hold. We will not go through the mechs until we get confirmation as to whether they're doing a redrop or if the player is returning. So we'll take a quick second here to talk about the map. We're going to talk about Theta. So this map was recently changed. The Crimson Strait now has a Theta cap way off to the side. Spawns were also moved for both teams as well. There used to be a team that spawned out kind of near where the new Theta cap is located, but both teams have been moved to the peninsulas or the Crescent Bay, whatever you want to refer to it as, near the Epsilon Sigma cap. Theta's off on the side. Um, Teams can elect to ignore it at their peril, or teams can attempt to go take it at their peril. A lot of space between either the saddle or the backside of this tunnel by the monorail tracks, where any potential leg getting sent to take Theta can get jumped, and team support is quite some distance away. There's a big old mountain in the way. There's one tunnel beneath it and one road over it, so um, Theta's an interesting proposition as to whether or not a team decides to go for it. The player does still have a little bit of time to reconnect here before it has to be a redrop. Alright, it's up to the teams to call it if it's going to be a redrop or not. But we are getting on that time where the teams should be calling it. Teams are discussing a redrop. Yeah. Okay, we got a redrop happening here. So I'm going to pop something up on the screen for a little bit here. I mean, unless the teams do the disconnects correctly. Well, yeah, I'm going to pop up something on the screen here.
We have gained Epsilon.
And we're going to be going to a redrop. A little bit of internet connections tonight, which isn't overly surprising. There are a whole bunch of different PCs involved, a lot of different internet connectivity points. I do believe that Clan Crossfire, or Crossfire as they're referring to themselves here, are a New Zealand or Australia, Oceania-based team. And Aces Wild is, I believe, North American, so that's a lot of distance for the internet to be trying to connect all these players together. And there's some stability issues that players report in MWO from time to time. Hopefully we get a clean match coming up here.
We've gathered enough resources. This triumph will provide us huge tactical benefits.
Alright, so with a redrop, we're going to be replaying Crimson Strait. So we have Aces Wild just locking back in with what appears to be the same drop deck is my guess. Crossfire might have to swap a player out here and find somebody, a replacement who can play their mech, or maybe maybe the player has managed to reboot their internet by now. So teams have like 3 minutes from a disconnect on the initial loading screen to until the point where they are supposed to go for a redrop if the player is not connected. So that's not a whole lot of time for rebooting a PC. Well, rebooting a PC with your SSD, plenty of time to get back in the game, but if your whole router has to power cycle or who knows what your problem is, you don't really have time to troubleshoot that. Teams are locked in, we're going back to this drop again. Alright, I screwed up my camera, so we'll go through this quick.
Reactor online.
We have a Night Gear for Aces Wild with the AC2 UAC2. Black Lantern with Small Pulse. Oh, this is a Crossfire mech. Okay, Black Lantern, Small Pulse, Ear Micro. What is the ordering on here? This is an... Alright, camera's fixed. Sorry about that.
We have gained Epsilon. Kappa is under
It's one of
enemy
those
control.
features of MWO where the spectator
Enemy
camera gets
forces
screwed up.
have Sigma.
So we have Black Lantern with Small Pulse, ER Micro out of Clan Crossfire. Second Black Lantern, same build. Rest of their mechs are headed toward Island. There's a fire starter there. I'm going to check it to see if it's light PPC or not. But first we're getting the Jade Kite, AC-10, 2 ERPPC. So 2 AC-10, 2 ERPPC. That might be a set of 8 as well. Kodiak with quad AC-10, 1 ERPPC. Second Kodiak got caught on terrain there, doing 2 ERPPC, 4 AC-10. So that is a much hotter version of what Yorshka is running, and a little bit slower as well. So there are 2 Jade Kites. One is... Do they have the same build on both? No, they do not. That is triple AC-10, 1 ERPPC on the Night Gear D. And I want to get that Firestarter build. Firestarter is running light PPC, sounds like. I saw something come out of it. Yeah, 2 light PPC, 6 small laser, very standard. There's basically two different competitive builds that the Firestarter A runs. And we have that funny Firestarter out of Aces Wild with 1 light PPC, 5 small pulse, the hybrid build. We have an island fight already. Island fight, we have a Direwolf Prime in the island, AC2 push deck. 2 direwolves. This is going to be very... they got in on the island relatively fresh. AC2, Ultra 2 on the Night Gear. Second Night Gear, is that going to be 5 UAC 2, probably 6 UAC 2, just one of them jammed at this moment. Now the lights are coming in from behind, so Aces Wild is going to need to turn and deal with that. Black Lanterns carry an immense amount of firepower to put into rear armor. No mechs have gone down yet. We have very low percentage mechs on both teams, but nobody is... Whoa! LOL Barbecue took down the Night Gear CT... No, that's a rear torso shot. So we have 2 mechs down on Aces Wild, only 1 mech down on Clan Crossfire. Chaotic fight in every different quadrant here. Aces Wild has lost one of their direwolves. The second direwolf at 40% here goes down Baron. The Kodiaks are still relatively fresh from Clan Crossfire. Aces Wild has won the light fight here. Not quite. There's still... Oh, shoot. Viper is definitely looking dead there from the Legend of Kelda. It's Viper versus a Black Lantern, but the Black Lantern has the support of a couple of heavily wounded Night Gears backing them up, as well as percentages in the favor of Captain Cat here. And last mech goes down from Aces Wild. Low percentage on Cloud and Crossfire for a couple of their mechs, but very few casualties on their side. Okay, so Clan Crossfire picks up another win there. Now has 3 drop wins to the 1 out of Aces Wild. See if Aces Wild can pull it back here. Damage stats real quick. Not Bob and the Direwolf coming out with a 450 damage. That was an AC2 build. The rest of the team on Aces Wild coming out with significantly lower damage in that 150 to 250 range. Crossfire leading damage with the Night Gear D out of LOL Barbecue with 680 damage total. One of the Kodiaks, Necro Doomguard, coming out with 500 damage. Captain Cat in a Black Lantern, Small Pulse, ER Micro with 500. Yorshka with another Kodiak has 500 damage themselves. Steelwater just 300 in the Night Gear. They were having to take cover as they were quite wounded early on. And lower damage numbers of Compulsive Flag Eater with the Firestarter and Pete Zone with another Black Lantern. Fair number of wounded mechs there from Clan Crossfire, or Crossfire toward the end there, but yeah, a very aggressive push there coming out of Aces Wild. Unfortunately, the strat did not work out for them, and so Clan Crossfire has picked up another win. Okay, we're coming up to the last drop on Canyon Network. This drop is a tonnage limited, 420 tons total for each team that they make use of. They also may not have more than 2 mechs of a weight class, so they cannot bring 3 lights or 3 assaults, but they can bring 2 lights or 1 light. It's up to them. Essentially, they have 420 tons, and they are taking only 1 of a weight class and 2 of every other weight class. That's basically what it boils down to. So that 420 ton limit is these later drops have been exceeding that tonnage, so we are going to see a bit of a lighter tonnage drop here than we did in drop 3 or drop 4. Aces Wild is looking to pull it back, get another point here. They can't win the match, but they can definitely pick up another point, which will help them for divisional placements going forward. Aces Wild has locked in with 420 tons, no surprise there. And Crossfire has locked in at 420 tons as well. Okay, looking at Clan Crossfire here, going to go through the builds real quick. We have a Moto Chi, AC2, AC5 light PPC. Interesting, yes. So they can run because they're only running the 2 AC5 with the one AC2, they can run a light engine in that build. We have Dual Gauss 4-ear large Mad Cat, the Crusader with Snubnose PPC small laser, Vapor Eagle Rival with ER PPC heavy machine gun. There's Mask on that hero mech, and another Crusader with Snubnose PPC small laser, and a Vulcan 4S. Now, what is on this mech? 2 Snubnose PPCs, no other weaponry. Now, they have one light mech in addition. I did not catch it. Oh, there we go. Misslings G was taking a cap point. So this is going to be a heavy machine. Yeah, 8 heavy machine gun, 4 micro. Now, Ace's Wild did manage to sneak that cap while briefly they were not taking fire. Quickly going through the builds here on the Ace's Wild. We have that odd small pulse laser light PVC fire starter. We have a push here already. Wow, that's the rival out on the flank that is getting shot at. Ultra 5, Ultra 10 Mad Cat. A second Ultra 10, Ultra 5 Mad Cat. We have a Night Gear running Ultra 10, Ultra 5, so that is a mid-range push deck. Heavy machine gun Viper. Second fire starter coming out of Ace's Wild. This one is a more traditional 8 small pulse, and then a rival as well, 2 ER PPC. No backup machine guns on Ace's Wild rival. So this is going to win or lose based off of the Epsilon push here more than likely, and we have a 67% Mad Cat Mark II to begin this push. Open CT on that Mad Cat, Zul the Burnerator, not Bob's, standing up and firing. There's a very heavy stack on this corner, and oh, the Mad Cat goes down before it can even get around the corner. Hadamoto Chi is wounded, but that looks like strike damage to me. Nothing's focused, nothing open. Night Gear goes down on Ace's Wild. This push is not working out for them. Not Bob, 45% in the Mad Cat. Yorshka's at 50% here. Not Bob has gone down. Yorshka in that Crusader is legged in open side torso. That should be an XL engine in that Crusader. Doing a good job of protecting it here. Steelwater goes down in the Himoto Chi. So Clan Crossfire has lost a mech, but Ace's Wild are down to 2 last mechs. There's a fire starter at 59%, and then the Vapor Eagle rival is the last alive. Going to be doing its best Shadowcat impression here, trying to mask and JJ and kite the entire team. But ultimately, this is a 1v6 at this point, so the odds of success are rather low.
They've taken Epsilon.
3v1, Crusader coming in to make it 4v1. Vapor Eagle has been legged.
The enemy has capped enough
And Clan
resources.
Crossfire picks up the
Failed.
4th win of the match here. So Clan Crossfire is picking up 4 points to the 1 point that the Ace's Wild managed to get. Some of the fights are relatively close. We see low percentages here on Clan Crossfire, but ultimately they take the drop. quick rundown of the damage here from the last drop on Canyon Network. Vapor Eagle rival from Legend of Kelda putting out 500 damage. Not Bob in the Mad Cat Mark II with UAC 10, UAC 5 with a respectable 450. The other Mad Cat B from Zool the Burnerator coming out with under 300 damage as their CT was heavily focused on that initial push. Lower damage numbers from the rest of the team in the 150 to 250 range. Quickly going through Crossfire's damage, Crusader 6T from LOL Barbecue coming out with a 636 damage, leading the team there with that Snubnose PVC small laser. Was heavily wounded, managed to survive to the end. Very potent, very powerful mech coming out of that IS-65 tonner. Very tonnage efficient on a tonnage drop. Crusaders, they get the thumbs up here. Captain Cat with the Vapor Eagle rival, kiting around with that mask PVC build, 550 damage coming out of them. Yorshka with the Crusader 60, 350 damage. Nico Doomguard with the Mad Cat Mark II, which I believe was dual Gauss, 4 ER large, 450 damage. Lower numbers from the rest of the team. Hamoto Chi from Steelwater being the only casualty for Crossfire. And that is it for us here on this channel right now. There are 2 other matches going on right now being casted on MechWarrior Leagues 3 and Youngtao's personal channel. This is Therax. Thanks for joining me. Thank you, teams, for giving us a match to watch. And I will be back with another cast or two casts tomorrow afternoon. That'll be in about 16, 17 hours from now that I will be starting that up, and I'm running, trying to do a bit of a back-to-back there with 2 other teams. So hit a follow on the channel, and maybe go check out MWO Leagues 3 after as I'm ending the cast right here. Thank you for watching.